Greetings, everyone. Maz okay here. For today, I want to talk about how Mr. Odunukwe, Ignatius, or rather Chief Ignatius Odunukwe, was lured in a hotel and killed in the pretense that someone wants to buy a property, and the lessons that all of us have to learn. A 42-year-old medical doctor by name Daniel Ibaji has told the Nigerian police that he was the one that lured late Chief Ignatius Odunukwe to his hotel room, where he told him to come and collect 900 million naira for a land deal in Abuja, and in the process he was killed. What are the lessons we can learn? Now, there are other three suspects, Arinze Igwe, who was a hotel worker, Solomon Cletus, 30 years, and Israel Obi Elegemu, and who is an Uber driver. They were all arrested by the Zonal Intervention Squad, for the Zone 2 Onikan, Lagos State. After the police, instructively done their investigation, which I learned was championed by Orange Drug. Now, the story has it this way, that this guy saw a property in Katangbe Estate and approached a security guard. The way we put this house is for sale, this guy approached a security guard and said, I want to buy this land. Now the security guard thinking, okay, it's something great. So he called Chief Odunukwe, gave him the guys, and they spoke. And, maybe the guy brought himself forward as a serious buyer, and they exchanged numbers. Eventually, this guy left Abuja. And when he came to Lagos, he contacted the seller, that is Mr. Ignatius Odunukwe. Now, that still he's interested in buying this property, and both of them agreed for that property in Abuja to be sold for 900 million. Again, at this stage, everything is still, very well, because I have not seen something a little bit fishy here, because it's a business deal, and he was contacted directly. Now, they fixed another date for December 1, that is 1st of December 2019, and before then, this guy had planned how he would do away with the chief. He came along, he told the man to come along with the original documents of the building. This is alarm bell number 1. Question Mazes is asking, why did Chief Odunukwe ignore these alarm bells? Come along with the original documents to the hotel. And that hotel was a beach resort. Now, when he came into this hotel, that was on a Sunday, 1st of December 2019. There was a lot of, party going on in the hotel, noise everywhere. So immediately the guy arrived, he walked, he met them and he walked them straight into his room, where they sat down on the sofa. I think they booked a suit. And they eventually, the same thing that we've talked about the telephone, after dropping a bag, he brought out the Ghana must go, and pretended as if no one knows what is inside that Ghana must go, pretended as if he was buying that property, now giving the chief 900 million. I do not think that there was any money in that bag. I do not for 1 second believe that there was any money in that bag. It was a planned stuff. So, according to his confessional statement, the chief bent down to count, and they hit him from the back with an axe, and the chief fell down. And when he fell down, he was struggling on the ground. Now, this guy called Cletus to drag him into the toilet. And because he's a medical doctor who studied in Edinburgh, in the UK, he injected this guy with a little injection. And, even hit someone who was struggling before, that was it. He couldn't do any other thing. He was so down, and eventually he gave the ghost, and they have to dismember his body, brought big cartons, and basically disposed of his body in that bathroom, chunking him into pieces and put them in a carton and packed it, and obviously left. We are able to move the deceased body from the hotel through the laundry section, because remember at the beginning I said one of the guys, a hotel worker, so he knew obviously that place very well, and that's how he helped him. And and because there were a lot of noise, party going on, nobody actually paid attention into what was happening. So eventually they took the body. So when they got to Ogombo, now they chopped the body more into pieces and threw the remains of this chief in the swamp and went back to the hotel. A human being, they chopped it into pieces. Okay, the police asked this guy how he met asked the mastermind how he met them. He said because before he has been in prison in Kuje, so he met those that helped him kill this guy in prison, and obviously, these are criminals. And again, what are the lessons to be learned here? And that's the reason why I want to make this video, not to make it too long. There are some flashes here that is very concerning. Chief Ignatius, may his soul rest in peace. It hurts so much that one can only wish that those that killed him would die. This is, where there is these guys should never and would never receive bail. Best thing to do is for them to receive that penalty and be dealt with immediately. They don't even warrant to be fed. Now, but there are things I want you and I that are alive today to learn. One is, how come someone told chief to come with the documents of a property, and he came with the original document to sign? He came with no police. He came with no security personnel at all, and he agreed to get into a hotel room. One, there are things, it's, this guy is dead, and it's a sad thing that he's dead, but there are things that really is bugging my mind. Was how did a deal of 900 million, that is 100,000 less than a billion, what was Chief thinking? Was he avoiding agency fee that he even got involved? Was he avoiding lawyer fee that he did not get his lawyers to handle this? These are the type of deal that are done with lawyers. Even if you want to come in, you must come with a security guard, even if you ask them to stay outside the hotel or outside the room. At least with your security guard there, probably that thing, let's say he came with 3 mopos and two policemen. There was no way 900 million. Now the question, the one that bugs me most is, how was he planning to transport this money? Was he planning to, take that money cash, put it in his car and drive away? 900 million. Jesus. What I'm confused is, I know so many times I've done business with people and they say, oh, 500, I want you to come and collect 500,000 naira cash. Me, come and collect. Not me and you. If you cannot pay it in the bank, then forget that business. I'm not interested. Why? What am I doing with 500,000? Not to talk about 1 million, 2 million, 3, 4, 10, 20. No, in this day and age, we must minimize risk. Collecting 900 million cash. That's, how he lost his life. So the things I'm saying is we must be careful. One, do not do any business transaction that involves such money in a hotel room without your security guard. Do not even go to the meeting to finalize in a hotel room if it's not like a board meeting where your security can wait outside. And, if you want to stay alive, please do not do such business deals without allowing lawyers to. If I were, it's sad that he's dead now, but if I were to be the chief, what I would have done would be, I would allow the legal company to have dealt with this guy, because at the end of the day, they would have known that this guy is a fraud. The only time that I might even come in at all, it would be maybe when they need the final signature. And believe you me, that is when that person is, when everything is set, and I cannot come there with less than 5 police or rather security personnel. I made the decision not to, get involved in anything that has to do with money, because I almost lost my life in Apapa in the year 2000. That was during Obasanjo. There was a project being done in Adamawa then. I got involved in that project. That project was going on in the north. It was rural electrification. So, it became suspicious, but because, at some point, when there is something poverty does, because at that point, we needed money, so we have supplied these materials needed for rural electrification. It got to the point of payment, and the guy was insisting. The guy is from Adamawa, was insisting that he must pay us with cash. I was the only one that objected. Others told me, "Come, let's go and pick the cash now." So when we got to because what I didn't understand was there was a Diamond Bank, there was a Zenith Bank. So why would you not pay the money into an account? No, they said no, they bring it out, because then we're operating Zenith account. They will bring the money out from Diamond Bank and give us cash. I said, no, I can't. Listen, even at that time, the money was about 3.5 million as of 2000. And I said, I can't even touch this money. So the guy got angry, say they have to give us this money. So we came with our own car. I called others, and thank God I was still hearing a little, I understood a little bit of Hausa then. And I went to buy Fanta at the corner of the shop there. I had 2 people talking about how they will shoot in Hausa. That means the moment our own Volvo gets out, the car we came with. I quickly went back there, said the guys, no, we are not moving away from Apapa with this cash. Come and see anger. This guy was like mad. No, you have to move with cash. We said no. Rather, let the deal. My own was rather let that deal die. He said, okay, if we are going to not move with cash, what are we going to do? And mind you, this time around is about 3:45. So the bank has about 15 minutes to close. So we said, well, let's take the money into the bank. And we moved the money from, so we paid the guy 50,000 to just money that's already in Ghana must go. Move them from, Diamond Bank to Zenith Bank. 50,000 just to move from Diamond Bank to Zenith Bank. They just moved it. That's the first time I heard about what they call in Nigerian banking boxing money, because the moment we came in, the bank said they can't count that money, that they have to box it, that we have to come back the next day for them to count that money. So we came back the next day after giving them 50,000 cash, and they counted this money. The money was no longer complete. But hey, 35,000 naira missing then. We didn't know who took it. Was it these guys, or was it the other, or one of the bank staff who took advantage of what was happening then? So that was how I am still alive today. If not, if we had left that day with that money, we wouldn't get to my two, and all our dead bodies would just be in that car. That was what could have happened to me. 3.5 million in 2000. And here we are 2019, 19 years later. Someone is moving into a hotel to collect 900 million. You know, there is a lot of alarm bell ringing. I did not understand how Chief could not see these alarm bells. Honestly, this guy is a philanthropist par excellence. This guy, you know, from Anambra State, I think Oroku to be precise. He puts a lot of people in school. He's one of, if you see him, you know, looking at him, you know, he's a very lanky guy. You won't even know he's a billionaire. He's one of those that believe that if God does not protect the city, the watchmen are watching in vain. So he's one of those that believe, you don't, like myself, don't move with security, because I believe I have nothing to fear. Yes, we do not have nothing to fear, but that doesn't mean that we have to equally be ignorant of our own security when it comes. I mean, there are bad people everywhere. Yeah, it's just like, these are like women meeting someone for the first time, maybe from online, and the guy says, come into a hotel room, and you go into a hotel room with someone you don't know. Please, ladies, if you're listening to me, please do not do it. You're meeting someone, yes, you met someone from Twitter, from Facebook, from whatever social media. Go in an open place. If there is no shopping mall around you, go in an open bar, you know, don't even sit inside, sit outside. Where people are, where, you know, not even like a corner hidden, no, sit outside. If there is a Mr. Biggs, sit towards the door. We need to pay attention to our security. The death of Chief Ignatius Odunukwe hurts me, because the Igbo nation have lost someone who is a philanthropist par excellence. There is, you know, those that killed him are riffraffs. These are non-entities. Sadly, his death means nothing to them. But we, the living, must learn something from his death. If not, his death wouldn't have taught us any lesson. Once more, this is Maazị Ezoke. Remain blessed.